Hope everyone's doing well. If you are catching me live, do put in a comment so I can see who's watching. If you catch up on this, do put hashtag replay so I can see who's caught up afterwards. I know I said 2 o'clock. I don't know why I said 2 o'clock. I was supposed to say 3 o'clock. But I thought since I said 2 o'clock, I'll do it now anyway instead of 3 o'clock. I have no idea where today's been. So this week I did my first face-to-face meetings since COVID, and it's been crazy. I forgot how used to I was. I didn't realize how used to it I was to do Zoom calls instead of client meetings face-to-face. Took a lot of energy out of me. So hope everyone's doing well. Those of you that don't know me, my name is Niha. I coach wedding planners to teach them how to plan weddings and then create a business out of it that's successful. Bit of background about myself. I have been a wedding planner for 15 years now. I started off in the Midlands for another company, then started out on my own. And I've done weddings UK and destination weddings, so things like America, Thailand, India, Maldives, Dubai, France, Italy, all over the place really. I don't really know what else I'll do if I weren't wedding planning. I don't think I could imagine another career. So this is kind of the reason why I created this group, and my coaching program was because I love wedding planning so much, and I was in a fortunate position to be able to work with someone that was America based but wanted to start out in the UK, and therefore was taking on wedding planners to get into the UK market. But there isn't a lot of wedding planners out there that you can just go and assist and actually learn anything from. You'll probably get to shadow them and be their page person, getting the coffee, getting the paperwork, all that sort of stuff, but you'll never actually do the hands-on stuff. So that's what I wanted to teach wedding planners, how to be more practical with what they do, create a wedding, speak to clients, speak to suppliers, and get that together. So that's what my program's about, and I am looking to do a workshop either next week or the week after, to give you a sneak peek of how it's like in my program. So I teach something very in-depth, so you can get an idea of whether wedding planning is actually the career you want to go down. So today I am not going to talk to you about that. I am going to talk to you about questions you would ask your clients to get out the information of what they want for their wedding. And now the reason for that is, if anyone's planned their own wedding, deep down somewhere they knew what they wanted. You didn't have to ask yourself, well, you probably asked yourself questions, but you didn't have to drill it out of yourself. Now, anyone that goes to a wedding planner doesn't probably know that. So they know they want to get married, because that's what they said yes to being engaged. And they probably have a small idea, like they might know where they want to get married, how many people they want to invite. They might have a rough idea of how it's supposed to feel, what it's supposed to look like. Or they might have a very detailed Pinterest board with so much information. As anyone that's used Pinterest, you would know, you could go wild on it. I've done that before while I was renovating my house. So as a planner, you have to narrow it down. Sometimes you have to kind of drill answers out of a client, and sometimes you have to take their answers, bin it, and restart. Because some people want very bizarre things that are out of this world, and possible, but then not possible in their budget, or some people give you 2 or 3 things that they want, and then the rest is up to you to work it out and make them love it. So there are certain questions that over the years I've picked up is the best way to get this information from a client. First of all, I would always ask them to repeat their engagement story if they can, and how they met. Now, the reason for that, it's quite simple, is a lot of couples like to recreate that part of their life and that atmosphere and put it into their wedding. So for example, if a couple met or their first date was in a certain city, or they got proposed in that city, they then end up liking the idea of getting married there. If they got proposed on a beach, quite common, they would say, oh, let's have a beach wedding, or let's have a beach themed wedding. UK beaches are a bit hit and miss, so probably chuck it down with rain sometimes, you never know. So people are obviously get skeptical, but you know, beach themes are very common. So ask them to re-emphasize on how they met, their first date, and when the question was popped. And take as much notes as you can with that. Obviously, asking a bride, and I know it's very common, but I could assure you it's very irritating for a bride and groom to be asked a question on, so tell me, what do you think, how do you think you want your wedding? How do you picture it? If a bride and groom knew that, they probably would have started planning and not come to a wedding planner. It's that simple. It puts off brides and grooms quite easily. It's like being a 6-year-old and being told how you imagine retirement to be. You know, there's a big step there, and a lot of couples aren't there. So don't ever ask that question if you can anyway. Unless someone comes to you with ideas, then yeah, ask for it. Then, from what they've said, so if they met at a friend's house, they went out to the cinemas and then to a fun fair or something like that, or to a restaurant, or he proposed in a restaurant, there's not a lot that you can play with. Go down deeper and ask the question of what is the 3 most important things to the bride and then to the groom that they would want at their wedding. So you would get answers like, oh yeah, I want a band, or I want everyone to enjoy themselves, I want to have a big party. The bride might say, I want a really expensive dress, or I want a really, 4-tier, 5-tier cake. Or it might be simple things like, I want it to be where we grew up, or I want my parents to be there. That sort of stuff. So always get those ideas, because again, at this point, when you're getting these ideas, you're just coming up with, you're gathering all the information to then go away, come up with a concept and give that to them, which obviously is a later stage. You want to then understand what the bride and groom want people to take away from the wedding. So that's not the physical presents that they get, but the feeling on how they want to feel, what they want to remember, what they want their guests to remember about the wedding. So a lot of people, it's food, quite obvious, and quite common. Some people say they want everyone to just remember how much of a great time they had. So they want that whole party atmosphere, enjoyable social environment. Some couples will turn around and say that they want it to feel romantic, and they want their love story to be felt. Not a lot of couples say that, but some couples do want that. Some people will turn around and say, I want everyone to just, have a blast and walk out struggling to walk because they've had that much to drink. So ask that question to see what it is that what feeling they want. So if someone says they got proposed on in a nice destination holiday, the most important things to them are things like the cake, the guests, the venue, and anything else that they want their guests, for example, to enjoy the views of their wedding and be able to walk around in a garden. You know, just from that, you can see that for them, the location of where they get married is going to be a key part, and you've got to find that one location that looks wow. Or it's quite a negative question, so when you phrase it, you probably want to be careful, but do ask them what they don't want at their wedding. Just because what you don't want to do is spend ages creating a plan and they look at it and say, I hate it because I do not want that at my wedding. So it's quite common, especially during the sunny days like today, people have rustic themes or outdoor themes, garden themes. There are brides out there, including myself, that absolutely hate them. Hate the rustic theme with a pure passion. I will put it together and I'll happily make it look beautiful, but if it was my wedding, there is no way I'm having a rustic theme. You get brides like that as well. So make sure you ask them what they definitely don't want at a wedding. If the bride and groom aren't too sure about what sort of ceremony they want, do kind of ask that question. You know, are they having a church and temple wedding? Are they having a religious element to it? Or are they just going to get registered and then have a celebrant that is there that will read the vows out and go from there? Bear with me. I just got an alert about a comment, but I can't see it. Maybe not. I got an alert about something. So yeah, ask them, are they having a church wedding? Are they getting registered? Are they going to have a celebrant? Are they going to read their vows in front of everyone? Are they okay with the ceremony and the reception being in two different venues, or do they want it to be one? If the main reason for that is because if the bride and groom say to you that they want to get registered and they want it to be at the same venue where they get registered, their breakfast and their reception is, you need to find the venue that is therefore licensed to register them, licensed for a wedding. It's nice to ask them if they've got preference on date. Some couples like to get married on the same month that they got proposed, or on the same day, or the month that they met, or similar to their parents, or they might just want a summer wedding because more people are a bit more relaxed. And then I suppose the last two questions is how many people they want. And now this could be budget related, or this could just be how they feel comfortable or how many people they think will attend. And again, it's a key number because it would depend on the venues you recommend. And the final thing to ask is any special requests. So is there anything that is really important that they want at their wedding? So yeah, I mean, they're the few things that I will recommend having asked at a wedding, at a couple before their wedding, especially for the couples that don't have any idea what they actually want for their wedding. It's probably one of the best ways to get that information out from them. But yeah, I think that's about it. I, again, don't see any questions. So if you did put a question in and I haven't read it, I'm really sorry. I will go back into it and answer that. But as there isn't anything, I am going to leave it there. If you do have any burning questions, drop me a message. Request to have a chat if you want to. It's a quick chat. There's no obligation in the chat at all. So feel free to drop me a message for one of them. Until next time, speak soon. Bye.